My hair's a bit of a mess. Do you think I could cosplay Hiccup with this haircut? A mop of hair. Hello, I am Megan and welcome to Battle Royale with Cheese, the website where you can get all of your TV and film news, reviews and trailers. And yesterday I went to go see the How to Train Your Dragon live action remake. This is, yes, the other remake that's been released next to Lilo and Stitch. This is one that I was cautiously interested in because I've spoken about this before, where when I did the trailer talk video, I said that from the trailers it does look like a shot-for-shot remake. And essentially, was it? How to Train Your Dragon is set on the fictional island of Berk and follows a young Viking Hiccup as he, for the first time, captures a Night Fury. However, he ends up befriending the Night Fury, much to the conflict of his tribe. So this one's a bit of an interesting one because, yeah, for me, How to Train Your Dragon 1, I consider it a perfect film. So I was a bit like, okay, how are you going to change things or do things differently? Because, like I said with Lilo and Stitch, when we reviewed that a couple of weeks ago, I apologise, it has been a while since a review video. But I said in that one, if you're going to remake something, don't just do a shot-for-shot remake. That's boring. Add something to it or answer questions that the original film didn't. And so this film did expand upon a couple of characters and their story arcs. So Astrid, played by Nico Parker, they do expand upon her story and her motivation. She wants to be the dragon killer on Berk. She wants to, build herself up to the top and train herself up to the top. And it's very much in character with her, with what she wants and her personality. Nico Parker was very, very good. I know that's been, for reasons that I am not happy with, that has been a controversial casting choice, but Nico Parker was fantastic. Mason Thomas, who plays Hiccup, is also great in this as well. It does feel like he has been pulled out of the original film, including with the voice the original version of the character does. Mason has taken that on as well, but added his own accent onto it too to make it a bit different. And Nico and Mason work really well together. Their chemistry I really, really enjoyed. And the chemistry with Hiccup and Toothless, the dragon, the Night Fury that he captures. That is obviously the more important part that they have to get right. And because this is a remake, yeah, they've got it completely correct. Toothless looks adorable. I think visually, some of the scales and the features on his face were a bit more... His face wasn't as detailed in this film compared to the original, but he still looked fantastic. He was adorable. The emotional beats are definitely there as well. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't smiling throughout this whole film. Yeah, I thought the cast was great. Gerard Butler returns as Stoic, who is the chief of the tribe, because he's already voiced the original actor, or the original character, sorry. It feels like it was a pretty easy role for him to just jump back into, and he does really well. He's great. Nick Frost plays Gobber, and I like what they did with Gobber's character as well, where it feels like there's a more caring side to him towards Hiccup that the original film hinted at but didn't fully go into. There's definitely more of that in here, which I really liked. I definitely liked their interpretation of Gobber in this remake as well. And the tribe's elder, who in the original film, she decides who's going to kill the dragon, who's going to be the dragon killer after the dragon training. So in the original film, she didn't have too much screen time, but in this, they make her a more consistent character, which I also liked as well. It made more sense for her to be here by the time it gets to that point, so I did like that. So those are kind of the changes that have happened, and I think overall, if you're wanting... I was thinking about this after the film finished, if you are wanting to go and see this, go and see this, but maybe go see it in IMAX or 4D or something, like the 4DX, because while I enjoyed it, while visually it is incredible, they got the emotional beats correct, the acting is fantastic, it is a shot-for-shot remake. Like, aside from the changes that I've already just spoken about, it is a shot-for-shot remake. It is essentially, can you imagine what the original How to Train Your Dragon film is going to look like in live action? Yeah, that's what you're going to get. Which, I was debating on this because I did really enjoy it, but I know that I've also said, like, I think it expanded enough to make it stand out. But ultimately, I don't know, I never like to recommend people not go and see something, but I guess from you can make your minds up from what I've just said. There is a few changes that I've talked about, but ultimately it is a shot-for-shot remake. A very good one, granted, it is a very good one. It's translated to live action very, very well, and I ultimately did come out, with a smile on my face, like, not regretting seeing it. But yeah, you do need to go into this knowing that. So like I said, Gerard Butler is returning for this as Stoic. John Powell returns as the composer. Dean DeBose, I've talked about this for Lilo and Stitch. He came back as director for this, and he was quoted as saying, you know, I didn't want to come back to this. I didn't want them to remake this. However, if they were going to remake this, I want to be involved so they get it right. Which I think is completely understandable. He didn't come back to Lilo and Stitch because he was doing this at the same time. I think I mentioned it. He was also co-director of Lilo and Stitch. So interesting remakes for him to have at the moment. But because you have the same composer as well, you do get, you know, the famous music, First Flight, the main theme, that kind of thing. This one is essentially pulling at your, like, nostalgia. This is a nostalgia pull, really, more than anything else. But ultimately, I enjoyed it. I came out with a smile on my face, and I would be lying if I said I wasn't smiling throughout. It hit the emotional beats well. The music, obviously, it's John Powell, so it's fantastic. I think the lead actors, Nico Parker and Mason Thomas, were fantastic. I have heard that Mason Thomas is apparently now being eyed to play Link in the Legend of Zelda live action film, which I think could be an interesting casting choice. I don't know, I haven't seen him in anything else, so I don't know if he'll be good at that, but I think it would be an interesting choice. Gerard Butler, Nick Frost, I really liked them as well. I liked that they added more to Gobber's character. They expanded upon Astrid's motivation, and they made the tribe elder a more prominent character. But overall, this is, aside from those things that I said, it's a shot-for-shot remake. Yeah, it depends if that's what you want to go for. Otherwise, stick to the original film. I am tempted to go and see this in the 4D, to be honest, because I think that will be fun. When I went to go see Final Destination Bloodlines in the 4DX, they showed us that first flight scene, you know, the famous one with Toothless's first flight. They showed us that in the actual 4D, and it was amazing. So I am debating on going to see that in the 4D at some point, but I'd have to travel a couple of hours out. So I don't know if that's going to happen. But yeah, this was my review on the live action How to Train Your Dragon remake. I think America gets it in a couple of days' time, or the next day. I know that the UK have got it really early, which I didn't realise. I thought it came out at the same time, but I don't think it does. But yeah, I don't need to do a spoiler section anyway. But I was Megan, this is Battle Royale with Cheese. See you soon.